A footwear revolution, from bare feet to smart shoes. You put them on every single morning without thinking twice. But what if I told you that the shoes on your feet carry 10,000 years of human history, culture, war, fashion, and technology? From woven grass to self-lacing high sneakers. This is a complete footwear revolution. Let's walk through it. Let's go all the way back 10,000 years ago. Humans were walking on bare feet until they weren't. The oldest shoes ever discovered, a pair of sagebrush back sandals found in Oregon cave, dating back to around 8000 BC. Around the same time, ancient Egyptians were weaving papyrus and palm leaf into flat sandals. Simple, functional, and surprisingly elegant. But here is the fascinating part. Shoes weren't just about protecting your feet in ancient Egypt. Only the wealthy wore shoes. Slaves walked barefooted. Pharaohs were buried with gold-decorated sandals for the afterlife. From day one, footwear was about statues other than protecting the feet from the hot soil. Meanwhile, in ancient Greece and Rome, sandals told everyone exactly who you were. Senators wore specific stars. Soldiers had up-raid boots for battle traction. And in Asia, early moccasins and rice straw sandals were designed perfectly around the geography and climate. 10,000 years ago, shoes were telling a story. Fast forward to medieval Europe, things got a little weird. We are talking about the era of the Pauline, a shoe with a pointed toe so long it could reach up to 24 inches. That's 2 feet of tip on your shoe. Some nobles literally had them chained to their knee just to walk. Why? Because it was pure unbridled flex. The longer the tip, the richer you are. Peasants couldn't afford to ruin expensive pointed shoes doing manual labor, so an insane tip literally screamed, "I don't walk." That was really weird and too much if you ask me. I'm wondering how comfortable they were in those extra dreams with footwear. It's crazy honestly, but that was the trend of the highlight. Then there were chopins, platform shoes worn mostly by Venetian women, some reaching height of 20 inches. That's almost 2 feet off the ground. Women needed servants just to walk in them. It sounds ridiculous, right? But this was the 1400s versions of wearing a 5,000 pair of Yeezys to a cookout. Footwear was power, footwear was statement and class. Here is a fact that will flip your world upside down. High heels were invented for men. Yeah, in the 1500s, Persian soldiers wore heel boots. The heel on horseback locked into the stair-hub, giving them more stability when firing arrows at full gallop. High heels were literally a military technology. Fascinating, huh? Yeah, I think so too. When Persian diplomats visited Europe in the 1600s, the aristocracy was obsessed with King Louis XIV of France, standing at a modest of 5.4 inches heels painted red to show off his statues. No one else allowed to wear red heels. That was the law. But by the 1700s, as men adopted flat rational shoes, he shifted entirely to women and became a symbol of femininity. It's really wild how something that started on a battlefield ended up in the wrong way. Women are incredibly endowed with invisible superpower if you ask me. Meanwhile, a massive shift was happening on the factory floor. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Before the 1800s, shoes didn't have a left or a right. They were straight lasted fitting either foot. It wasn't until 1818 that left and right shoes were introduced, and mass production made shoes affordable for ordinary people for the first time in history. This is revolution if you ask me. Now we reach the moment that changes everything, the birth of sneakers. It all started with rubber. In 1839, Charles Goodyear figured out how to vulcanize rubber, making it flexible and durable. By 1892, the US rubber company released Keds, a canvas shoes with rubber soles, the first true sneaker in history. Why sneakers? Because the rubber sole was so quiet, you could sneak up on people, hence the name sneakers. I'm not making that up, it's true fact. Drop your thought in the comment section if you think otherwise. Your opinion is valid. Then in 1917, Canvas released the All-Star, a basketball shoe that became a cultural icon. Chuck Taylor started endorsing it in the 1920s, and for decades it was the basketball shoe. Those Chucks Taylor your grandpa wore. They were cutting-edge sports technology at the time. Across the Atlantic, in a small German town in 1924, two brothers, Adi and Rudolf Dassler, were making athletic shoes by hand. Their split was one of the most legendary corporate breakups in history. Adi founded Adidas, Rudolf founded Puma, and a rivalry was born that's still going on today. I wonder what could have caused such irreconcilable corporate breakup, but that's not our problem right now. Let's move on with what we are exploring. Shoes were no longer just footwear. They were becoming sport. They were becoming identity, class, and status. In 1964, a University of Oregon track coach named B. Boama and his former athlete, Phil Knight, started selling Japanese running shoe out of the trunk of a car. They call it Blue Ribbon Sport. 10 years later, they renamed it Nike after the Greek goddess of victory. Boama man, obsessed with making a better sole, literally poured rubber into his wife's waffle iron one Sunday morning. The result of his curiosity became the Nike Waffle Trainer, a revolutionary shoe that grip changed running. True story, not myth. But the moment that defined modern sneaker culture was on October 18, 1984. Nike signed a 21-year-old rookie named Michael Jordan to a shoe deal. The Air Jordan 1, launched in 1985, black and red, broke NBA uniform rules. Nike paid the $5,000 per game fine on Jordan's behalf just for the publicity, and they created one of the most valuable shoe franchises in history. Air Jordan 1 was originally sold for $65. Today, original pairs sell for over $20,000. When you see the future of your vision and put it what it takes, you will reap the long-lasting result of your effort, hard work, and consistency for life. The 80s and 90s weren't just about basketball. Run DMC were rapping about their Adidas. Nike was signing every superstar on earth. Reebok's pump lets you literally inflate your shoe. Sneaker culture had fully merged with music, sport, and street identity. Then came the drops of limited release, lines around the block, fight outside stores. Sneakers weren't just shoes anymore, they were currency. Came the 21st century and footwear became a technology arm race. Nike dropped the Adapt BB in 2019, a self-lacing basketball shoe controlled from your phone. Back to the Future predicted in 1989 took him 30 years to actually put it off. Adidas partnered with Carbon, a 3D printing company, to create the Future Crafted 4D. The midsole is printed using light and oxygen, a process that takes 90 minutes to produce what used to take months, and it turned to your running data. Speaking of running, carbon fiber plated shoes like the Nike Vaporfly caused a crisis in marathon. Studies show they improved performance by 4%. Runners started breaking world records at an unnatural pace. World Athletics had to step in and regulate how thick a sole could be in competition. Shoes were getting banned. Let that sink in. Hoka One flipped the script entirely, going maximalist with thick rocker-shaped soles when everyone else was going minimal and barefooted. Runners thought it was a joke, then everyone started winning races in them. Biomechanics, data, material science, footwear engineering now sits right alongside aerospace in terms of innovation intensity. But innovation isn't just about performance anymore. It's about the planet. Adidas teamed up with Palais for the oceans, collecting plastic waste from coastlines and turning them into running shoes. Each pair uses roughly 11 plastic bottles. Hallbest built an entirely brand around merino wool and sugarcane soles and became Silicon Valley's unofficial uniform. Luxury brands like Stella, MC Cartney are going fully vegan. The industry is reckoning with the fact that it produces over 20 billion pairs of shoes a year and most end up in landfills. Meanwhile, sneaker culture has become a full economy. Platforms like StockX and Go turn shoes into stocks. A pair of Nike Max, the actual Back to the Future shoes, are sold for $200,000 at auction. Sneakers are now hedge funds you wear on your feet. Supreme collab, Off-White, Travis Scott, Dior. The line between streetwear and high fashion gone. The line between shoe and heart completely erased. From woven grass protecting ancient feet in cave, to carbon fiber rockets on the feet of Olympic champions, to AI power shoes that lace themselves. In 10,000 years, footwear has reflected everything about us: our statues, our culture, our creativity, our technology, and our obsession with being just a little bit cooler than the person next to us. The revolution isn't over, it's literally just getting started. Stay tuned. If you found this walk through footwear history fascinating, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what's your most prized pair of shoes. Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next video.